Hey guys, welcome back to Roman's podcast. Good to
Hey,
see
hi.
you,
Hello.
Amar.
How are you? Hi,
It's been a
Amar.
while.
Good to see you back.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. Miss you guys and all the
Likewise.
talk.
Yeah, so you missed out on last night's session. So when me and Punk were connected, uh, we just went back to a few years back. We were just discussing about. Remember how all three of us now we started playing the tennis ball cricket back in Glasgow in that park. Since
Yeah, I
then,
remember that.
few years fast forward, we played for Rongans in the T20 league,
Glasgow Green.
and then we end up here on the podcast now.
It's a
Just
journey.
stay there, no?
Yeah.
In Charlotte Street.
Hopefully, yeah, the journey continues. And one of the things Punk made a good point yesterday. He said maybe we should bring the rest of the Wrong Ones crew on one of the podcasts and kind of revisit some of those memories. Even though we didn't do a lot of things right, but Wrong Ones as a team, I think,
We
we
had a
we
lot
met
of fun, actually.
good connections, and it was real fun. Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't do
Yes.
too much right, but we made a lot of memories, I think. So
Yeah.
it'll be good to catch up and remember those or not, really.
yeah. I mean, imagine the amount of stress that Amar used to give OS bro. I still remember those guys every time they realize Amar's on the scores on the playing eight, and when he's walking into bat, they were like, no, not this guy again, because it's like the rest of the team scores probably 10%, and this guy just goes and smacks them like for 50, 60 every time he walks out.
Yeah, it was just about being on spending time on the pitch. That's what India should have done today, but
Yeah.
they didn't.
Absolutely. No, that's a fair point. So yeah, let's probably get crack on. Obviously, the second test in Adelaide, day and night. Day one
Yeah.
yesterday. Initial thoughts, obviously, India got balled out for 180. Winning the toss. A lot more experience back in this team now. We had Rohit back. Gill looks in good nick, and he's back at number three. And then obviously, seeing some experience in terms of Ash. I was hoping, I was really confident in the team to, especially after winning the toss, to go, score some huge runs. But unfortunately, we got bundled out for a 180. So maybe let's start with Mitchell Stark, right? 6 wickets on the pitch, especially getting a wicket on the first delivery of the innings. I think it's
Legend.
massive. So he finished off for 6 for 48. So initial thoughts on maybe Mitchell Stark. Amal, let me start with you first.
Yeah, absolute legend. And it was, this was coming really. He is the pink ball star, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the pink ball history with Australia, they have won 11 out of 12 pink ball tests. And Stark has been, the main guys, main pick of the bowlers for them. He can move the ball in. He's deadly Yorkers. Tall
Yeah.
guy. The shot of good length or even good length, it
Mm-hmm.
comes up to you. So a brilliant bowler, a pink ball exploiter.
Yeah.
Australia has got.
Yeah, especially without having Hazelwood in the squad. There were a lot of questions, and maybe Scott Burren obviously kind of supported him well. So, Punk, maybe a quick view from you on both Scott and we've got another guest. Looks like
Connecting
it's
to
joining
audio.
us.
Is it Jagan?
Yeah, looks like
Is
Jagan's
that
joining.
Jagan? Yeah,
Why
we
audio?
have full
Where's the
house
video,
today.
man? Okay.
Tyagi, I see
Yeah.
you joining the session. Welcome to Roman's podcast. It'd be nice if you have the video as well.
You guys see me or no?
No,
Oh,
No,
we
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 can
can't
can't
see.
see
see.
you.
Ah,
Yeah,
there you
Yeah,
go.
there.
now we can see you. Yeah,
Good,
There
man.
we go.
That's a boy.
There we go. How are you, peeps?
Yes,
Oh,
all
so
good,
what are we
man.
talking
we're doing
about?
Not
great.
bad.
Good to have you on the podcast.
No, I'm
Finally.
more than thrilled. Yes, finally I got time. So because my son's skating class got cancelled. But what is happening? Where is Amar?
Brilliant. It's
Oh,
He's
me.
right
It's
there
there.
you
here.
go. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
How
back.
how how do I same screen or are we not doing that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I can
yeah.
see. Okay.
You can have all four of us at the same time, but yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
So now that Jagan joined as well, so we might as well just kind of look
Or
at
not.
day one.
Yeah. Let him give a view
Yes.
of his. So, Jagan, you want to give a view of day one?
Day one, yes. Starting with the team selection, right? I mean, I think it was a good selection. The only thing I would have rather gone with, or the change I would have gone with was, I would have stuck to Washington.
Yeah,
Just for the sheer fact that it just boosts his confidence. He did well in the last test, and when you have such youngsters, you just want to continue with those. And not taking anything against Ash. He's a legend. We all know that. So, but the fact is, we had a combination going, and too many changes sometimes are. I mean, I thought that was not necessary, but yeah, obviously, team would have their own views. But yeah, I think it was one of the best teams which played. Pink ball was always going to be a tough one to start with, and the first hour when we decided to bat, I was like, we have to survive that first hour. And Stark being Stark, he's another guy who obviously is raring to go. He's one of those guys who will have a downfall, but then he just picks it up and then he comes back. And this was his ground, his Adelaide ground, where he has such good stats to back up with. And he showed it from ball one. I mean, the ball one obviously was one of those loose nerds where Jaiswal could have played it a little better. But nevertheless, I mean, these things happen. As a batsman, you're not expecting that first ball to come through in such a way, and then it swung in late as well. But yeah, apart from that, I think few loose shots for Indian batsmen. But the way Nitish Reddy played was fantastic. Just taking on the confidence he has is amazing. Um, I thought KL was again kind of in his shell, but yeah, we just need to have the intent to score runs, and I think that's where we could have done well. So KL, I think, got into that shell and just never recovered from that part. Um, Apart from that, I think we played fairly well. It was a tricky wicket, and had Australia gone into bat first, I think it would have been a similar situation. But what disappointed me overall with the bowling was, we bowled way too wide up front, and we didn't bowl towards the wicket.
yeah.
But give or take, we were very disciplined with the runs. I mean, if you see the run rate is around 2.21 or 2.27 something, but that is very good. So now all India needs to do is this 1 hour, make it count, and then capitalize on this one. That's pretty much all. I think it should work in India's favor if we get at least get them all out. Probably first three wickets in the first session, and then go on from there.
Yeah, absolutely, and you kind of run it off well, right, in terms of what Stark's done, like the rest of the squad. But yeah, Punk, really, your views on Stark, and obviously, you were really rooting for Scott Boland to kind of do the job for Hazelwood. So yeah, your views on it.
Yes. So I did tell, right? Scott Boland has that line and length, and even in the first test in Perth, and if you see, it was only Bumrah who was bowling, the length, because most of the Indian bowlers, they bowl back of length, because in India you don't have that bounce. In Australia, if they bowl back of the Indian line length, right, the ball will always go here. So most of the, if you see, Svenny and Kwaza, and later on Labuschagne as well, right, they were just leaving the ball. And Jagan did mention, right, most of the ball was away from off stump. It was not on the off stump line within that, the corridor of uncertainty. It was just away, so they were easily leaving it. Ball was swinging a lot. And if you see only Bumrah later on, when he started, right, he was back of the length, but then because he is that legend, right, he bought in, and then he got that wicket out.
Yeah.
He bought in, so then he made this guy Khwaja play, right, and then he bought it back of the length, and because he played it, he got the catch, right.
Yeah.
If you see Siraj, Harsh, they never recovered from that this thing. It looked very pretty that the run rate, they were not scoring runs, but that line, that length, they're not going to get wickets.
Yeah.
Because Australians know how to play in those pitches, right?
They did their homework as well from the last one, right? So everyone's determined. Everyone has to prove a point, and pretty much every media, every big media and newspaper wrote them off after the first one. I mean, it was debacle. Obviously, someone is going to take that to the heart and obviously come. And you could see that in Stark. You could see the passion when every wicket was taken. Even few wickets they took off. The celebrations, you could see that these mean a lot to them. So obviously it's one of those things. But yeah, as Pankaj mentioned, like it's something which our guys just need to stick to that and keep questioning their, every time they bowl
Absolutely.
that line where the batsman has to play, that's where the uncertainty came in, and that's what we didn't do that many
Yeah.
times.
And
Yeah, and
just
also
to add to that, if
when
you see Stark, yeah, go on, Amar.
yeah, I was just saying that, yeah, Jagan, you're right that the Australian media totally wrote them off after last game, and they
Yeah,
wanted to come back. But also, Australia played how pink ball test should be played, and
yeah,
India didn't do that. That was
Yes.
also one of the reasons they didn't start as they should have started when India decided to bat first. They should have done what Australia did. They should have left the ball. And as it is known that the pink ball has more lacquer in it, and it swings, it moves more. Also helped by the pitch that it gets a little bit, tiny bit more bounce as well early on,
yep,
and the ball gets older, little bit later than the red ball. So what they should have done is they should have left quite a lot of balls.
yeah,
Of course, India helped Australia to to leave them when Australia were batting, because India didn't bowl wicket to wicket.
yeah,
That was one of the reasons also. But early on, because of the wicket of the first ball, which Jaiswal got out, so India were already in the back foot. So
yep,
they didn't get time to leave the ball as much, and um, they were in that trap really. So they should have tried to leave the ball as much, and also get that lacquer off the ball, and that will only help the batsman lower down the order.
yeah,
If your openers are not facing the ball, or not being on the pitch for say half an hour to an hour, then the latter on guys, they are getting that lacquer, which is very, very difficult for them to
yep.
play.
No, no.
Yeah, that's a good point you made, right? So Amar, just hold the thought, right? So and Jagan and Pankaj, you might agree on this as well, right? Obviously losing Jaiswal on delivery one, sort of put some pressure on Rahul to probably not play his national game. Maybe he kind of went into the shell
Yeah.
where he wanted to leave the ball, try and stay on. So that potentially kind of pushed someone like KL on the back foot. But one of my observations, right, and something I was really impressed, right, and I definitely want to get your views on Gill, the way he attacked, from
Yep,
the first delivery, you can see him he's in his zone. He was on the front foot, and some of the bounties he scored against Stark, in the first few overs. I was quite impressed. I was really looking forward to Gill scoring a big ton, but unfortunately things really kind of materialized. But yeah, maybe your views. Maybe Pankaj, start with you on Gill and a little bit on KL as well.
Yeah. So you see the last series, right? 2021. Gill really played well. He had scored the 90 odd runs even before that, right? So he was very confident, right? The thing is with Gill, right? If it's he's very confident with bouncy pitches in Australia, and he's done really well there, right? Um, he has a problem with the in-swing ball, especially a right-hander, right? With Mitchell, right? He's the way he bats. He cuts that. He plays like a lofted one, so it's much more easier for him to play Mitchell Stark rather than say like a
Yeah,
Jamie Anderson, right? Because Jamie can bring it in from the off side, so that is his weakness. But in this pitch, he and definitely the way KL batted, right? That was because of the first ball, getting ducked. He didn't want a repeat of the 36, which had
yeah,
happened,
mhm,
So that is there etched in the memory of India. Yeah, it's
yeah,
not going to go away. The thing is, and that's the reason he went into the shell, and he did well actually. If you see in terms of the runs and the ball, right? He could have attacked a little bit more when they were settled, but
mhm,
that's a different thing altogether. But Gill
yeah,
really that's how you need to bat, right?
yeah,
Pink ball, you're not going to score 400, 450 runs. If you
mhm,
score anything 250 plus 300, it's a winning score in each
yeah,
innings. So they're close to 70 runs less, if you see, right? If it was 250 plus, it was a very good score on that pitch, and especially with the the pink ball.
yeah,
The other thing is definitely India has and I mentioned in the last postcard, right, that if India gets out in two
mhm,
sessions, which was most likely, as I told you, right, they will come back, especially when there's lights on. and the ball will swing more. And literally, they should have got Akashdeep instead of Harsh. And frankly speaking, even in Siraj, he needs to bring his outswing. All he balls, he just cuts the ball, and it everything goes like in swing, right?
Yeah.
If you go on doing in swing, you see they were very comfortable with his bowling. Most of his ball was going like buys. Even Rishabh Pant was not able to take those.
Behind the stumps. He's
Yeah,
having
behind the
difficulty.
stumps. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like near to impossible for him, right?
Yeah.
Siraj needs to bring that. He needs to get his outswing going. If not, then this we are going nowhere. Or he needs to be dropped basically, and they need to get Akash or Prasidh Krishna instead of Siraj. If he continues bowling just in swings, all his ball was all in swing. He's just cutting the ball. There's no seam movement. It's just in swing, and it looks very good that the ball is swinging, but you're not going to get wickets on that pitch, man. And all short pitch balls, right?
I agree.
The only thing, what he did was in Perth, right? He bowled up front, and then it in swinged, and then he got Labuschagne, I think so, and then Steve Smith also. I'm not sure who he got by. If he can do that, right, then it's fine. But if he bowls from off stump and the ball swings, they're going to leave, or they're going to flick it for a four, which this guy's Sweeney did it, and Labuschagne did it to him as well, right? So, but yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. We'll probably look more detail into the bowling, right? But just kind of coming back to the batting, right?
But Nitish,
really counting on King Kohli after that 100 in the second innings in the first test. I'm kind of really looking forward for him to maybe score a ton of runs. Unfortunate the way he got out. Amar, I don't know if you have any thoughts in terms of for me personally, right? When I'm looking at it, it felt like a catching practice. You just said what do you do in the nets where you just allow the ball to go to the slip. I got that impression. I don't personally think it's one of those peaceful starts.
Like Babar Azam does right, like the catching practice. But no, I mean, in all honesty, I think Virat Kohli is going to come back. The biggest challenge, or the biggest not worry, but then not less than a worry for me, is Rohit Sharma hasn't performed or scored big in like so many test matches. I don't have the stats in me, but then last time when have we seen Rohit Sharma? So Rohit needs to come to party. I know he's doing everything as a leader. He's sacrificing his position. He's going to his non-comfort zone where he's going to bat down the order. But then you have to make it count. Like at this point, as a batsman, if you're not going to make it count, then as a bowler, you're not going to contribute anyway because you're not a bowler. So how is it is going to impact the team? I'm not worried about Kohli or KL, or because India has such a good think tank. They're all going to go out. Obviously, at the end of the day, they will do what they have to do, and they will come back. And that is not going to be a worry. The only worry for individuals like Rohit Sharma is they have to start performing at some point. That needs to come through. I mean, as a team, we need him, like not just for 20 runs, 30 runs, but we need him good 70 or 75 runs from him. And this is the time where, and this is like, pitch has got no demons and the ball is swinging. Yes, you just have to respect the good balls. That's all you got to do. It's not like one of those pitches where it's going to create havoc like what we saw on Perth. But then it is a time where they just have to respect it. And that's what they were doing. I think Gill played one of the best innings he could have played, even for the likes of Pant. He was not hitting every ball. He was respecting the ball. He was leaving the ball, and he was doing what he had to do. So that's all they need to do. And with the likes of Reddy, you will always get like the 30, the 40, and those are so helpful when it comes to the lower order runs.
What I saw
you
was
mentioned about Rohit's spot,
Pant,
right? So really quickly, right? Maybe I'm going to just add some spice to the summer. Being an opener yourself, would you have done the same thing? Like, fair enough, right? You're doing for the team and the squad and stuff, but obviously I've seen you open a lot, in our playing days, whatever. So, being in Rohit's shoes, would you have done that? And, how would you have approached, the sport, like, sacrificing yourself and going like, in the middle order, probably not even middle, maybe lower middle order. So, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I would have done the same, because it's not because I'm going to sacrifice for the team or whatever. I always believe that the openers should not change mid-series. I've always said that you pick an opener, a set of opener that after first game, definitely not after first game. First game you take time to set in. This is a new opening pair. You get used to it, and then you carry that opening pair throughout the series. It's not that they've failed completely. Of course, Jaiswal didn't score in the first innings of the first match, then came back and scored 140 odd.
178.
170.
170, all right. And Rahul also batted well. And even this, I can see that Rahul was, he was there on the pitch. He was there on the pitch. But Jaiswal, unfortunately, he couldn't get over, after the first ball. So, but he will come back. He's a fighter. He will come back. He learns very, very quickly. And also, what's happening with Rohit Sharma? We have seen that with Kohli as well. Previous to this tour, we were talking of same thing about Kohli, that will he come back? He hasn't scored for a long time in Test matches, but he has come back. He's scoring now, or he has scored 100. So Rohit Sharma will also, he will score. He has just come back from India, so he will get into the his scoring mode. I would say. Another thing what I saw was Rishabh Pant was timing the ball.
Yeah.
He was timing the ball. He was batting well. He didn't score massive amount of run in this innings, but I think it was good signs. He was timing the ball. He was middling the ball.
Yeah.
And he got out after that. But I'm expecting more from him in the second innings. Nitish Reddy, definitely shining light. He scored 41 and then 38 in the first match, and again 46 or 7 today.
42 of 54 deliveries yesterday.
So
3 sixes and 3 boundaries.
Yeah, so he's the guy that should play, that should score, and he should be in the team for all the rest of the Test matches, really.
Absolutely.
I mean, at one point, 150 was not looking likely, but he took it to 180. So I'm rooting for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know, Pant, you've always been a big fan of Nitish, right? From when he started playing for Sunrisers a year views, and especially I want to call it out, right? That boundary is scored, like the reverse hoop, I would say, or maybe I don't know, over the the keeper's head against Scott Boland. That was something else. I mean, he should have some guts to actually do that, right, in a Test match.
And his shots are really, really crisp and very clean. Clarity of thought. Whenever you see him play, you see clarity of thought. Of course, he middles the ball. Of course, he picks right ball and the right shot for the right ball. But then clarity of thought is very, very evident, and that's what we want.
Yeah. So he definitely he doesn't hug the ball around. He knows where to hit, which shot to hit, and and then suddenly the T20 thing has influence, right?
Yeah.
And especially with this crisis, when you have less wickets, right? If you have somebody coming at number 7, round about 8 to bat, and who can hit those sixes, right? The 30, 40, 50 runs, right? Really helps, because if you see, if your entire top line is gone, that means some demon is there in the pitch,
yeah.
And somebody who can give you the 30, 40 runs, right? India getting to 180, right, actually is really good, because on that pitch, if only they could have bowled well, we would have, it would have been a very different. They would have been like 4 or 5 down by now. Yeah, it's the batting was okay, but bowling was like terrible, frankly speaking, and that's why we thinking like something's. Let's see what happens tomorrow morning. But Nitish Reddy, right, as Amar mentioned, right, he's got a clarity of thought, which ball, where to hit, right. And he knows his strengths, right? So if you see that catch which Nitin Lyon was on the thing, he still hit it. He knew it was 6, right? Yeah. So same thing with Pant, right? Even if you have him long on and long off, right? He will go for it, because he knows his strengths that can clear those guys. So something which Nitish has, which is very good, and it's going to help him a lot. And we got a bowling all-rounder. And I just want to add something, like, the reason why Ashwin came in, and I was telling Ashwin won't come in, is because of Nitish. The only reason why Ashwin is playing in this match is because of Nitish. Because in the Perth Test, Nitish played very well in both the innings. That gave confidence to the management that we can bring in Ashwin. So we don't need like batting like for Jadeja or Sundar, right?
Yeah.
And Ashwin has the skills to take those wickets, right?
Yeah,
See,
and definitely, and there's
he
one
has the
more.
cannonball, right?
Yeah.
With the
There's a
cannonball,
cannonball, but there's
the
also
lacquer, right?
one thing about Ashwin is that India has played 4 pink test matches, and he's taken 18 wickets in them.
Yeah.
So he was kind of a
The
forerunner for that,
fountain of the
anyways.
experience, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Did Rohit give Ashwin a chance to bowl?
Yes.
He didn't
Just
bowl,
one
right?
over.
No, he did. He
1
did
over.
good, but just 1 over, one or two
Yeah,
Yeah.
overs. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, just one over. Yeah,
yeah.
before
He'll be handy tomorrow.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
The-
just to add on the Nitish point, right? He's a Telugu, so that is also a plus point. So that definitely brings up this thing. But the other part is
He's Indian man first.
no, of course, but yeah,
Funny, Jagan
like
mentioned that, right? I can't help myself. He's a Telugu and he's a Reddy as well. So,
yeah, exactly, and that for a 22-year, I don't know how they do it. For a
yes.
22-year-old in a packed Adelaide stadium to come and play those shots is, I don't know what they have in these guys, the confidence,
Yeah.
and obviously it's so much practice that goes in. Their mindsets are
Yeah.
totally different. I mean, for a 22-year-old, he's coming and he's on the front foot. He's hitting Stark a six. That's for me is the most fantastic shot I've seen, like in a test cricket, in a scenario like that. And not to take away Ashwin's innings, Ashwin's 22 runs are very crucial. I mean, he does that all the time. Like he with the bat or with the ball, he's such a utility player. We don't have to say much about Ashwin, but Reddy is definitely.
Yeah.
I'm
You,
very optimistic about
you
this
asked
guy.
for the confidence, right? I'll tell you where the confidence comes from. It's the IPL money, man.
You can say that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's the piece, right?
I will not take
And
anything
No,
away
no,
from that guy
it's a
because
joke, you know.
no, I get it. But all I'm saying is these guys are so sorted in their head to come and
Yeah.
play innings like that, even with the crowd, because crowd is the biggest player. I mean, who hasn't? Amay Kurasia, if you think about it, he was a star, but then he didn't perform. There's so many other players we can keep naming them.
Yeah.
They don't come with that clarity. This guy comes with a clarity.
yeah,
that
Yeah, it's
comes
absolutely.
with the clarity, and also we have seen these guys coming in, and they are showing so much of confidence and commitment and fearlessness. That's what it is. We have seen
Yeah.
that in Nitish Kumar Reddy. We have seen in the previous series. We have seen with Verma as well, when he scored that brilliant 100, and that was fearless. He went up to the captain and said, let me bat at number 3, and then he comes and plays those shots. So you can
Samson
see
as
that
well,
growth.
you saw he got an opportunity to open, and then he showed his skills. So,
Yeah, but Samson is not.
great, right? But Samson
he's
around for a
I'm
long
saying
time,
like he
right?
got an
Unlike
opportunity to
Senior
open,
player.
right? So,
Yeah.
whenever he was batting like in middle order, right, he didn't get opportunity. You were only getting this 20, 15 balls, right? Once he got an opportunity, the skills are there. They have the clarity of thought, of hitting, So the youngsters, right? Samson is still like, 27, 28 maybe, but these guys in 2022, right? They are coming with like, they've played IPL, they've seen the crowd, they played with this, so it's the IPL money was just a joke, but the IPL gives
absolutely,
you
I
that,
get it, right? So
No, absolutely.
it gives you the exposure that they've hit in Stark and they've hit in the best of bowlers, man.
Yeah.
So for them, it's and the shot, right, which hit the 6, lovely, right? But those shots were not practiced, before the IPL started, before 2007, nobody would practice that, right?
Yeah.
It is like now it's a normal shot for them to practice, and then given an opportunity, the wickets are down. He just showed his skill that I have everything within me, right?
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't be surprised
like,
if someday he would come raise his hand when he's played enough tests and say that I want to bat up the order, and it will happen.
No, he will get an opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm not going to jinx anything, but I'm very optimistic about this talent which is coming up, and it's going to be good. Good signs for India. I mean, overall.
So like he's going to get opportunity to bat up the order, definitely in tests.
Yeah.
Even in one day all. The thing is, his bowling, he'll still be in that 125, 130 range, but his batting is like really, really good, man. He's absolutely he knows what he's very good.
He looks like a real talent. He knows his game and he understands.
Somebody's got 462 runs, man, 432 whatever runs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that was something that always plays in the back of your mind, right? Really, obviously day 2, a lot to do for India.
Yep.
Australia is just 94 runs behind. They still have 9 wickets in hand. And we've noticed, obviously, McSweeney seems to have found some neck. He seems to be in the middle in the ball well. And then obviously someone like Labuschagne, when he hits form, we know he's going to score some big runs. And then we have Steve Smith and probably Head to follow. So your thoughts on like in the day two, how should like Australia approach? Obviously, they're 1-0 down in the series. That's something they'll always play on the back of their minds. And then obviously, to face like the likes of Bumrah on day two, so maybe Amar, you want to go first?
Yeah, in terms of Australia, they are doing what should be done. Of course, they have, like I was saying, that they have won 11 pink ball tests out of 12 they have played. So obviously they know, what should be done. They're doing that. They have left the ball early on, and then they haven't taken chances in this innings. Of course, India has not, bowled to the mark. They have always
Yeah.
Most of the balls were wide or either too short of the length. So that helped too. But also they haven't Australia haven't taken any chances. So they are going very well. What they will be looking to do is with Max Sweeney, he will be looking to score big.
Yeah.
He's a newcomer and he wants to make his mark. In the
Yeah.
first test, he couldn't do that, but in this test, he's definitely looking to do that, and
Yeah.
that's what you can see, that he's very determined. And also we saw a little bit of contest between Jasprit Bumrah and Labuschagne.
Labuschagne, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you can see that there is an intent of playing against Jasprit Bumrah. They know he is the main bowler, mainly because of his talent and what he's done over the years and in the previous match as well. But also the other guys in the bowling lineup are not doing much. So he's the guy. But why they have not done well is I'm really surprised about that. What they have seen when Stark was bowling, when Cummins were bowling, there was a bounce, a little bit of bounce on the wicket, and what they thought was really, okay, why don't we bowl bouncers?
Yeah.
Maybe that will help. But by doing that, they didn't bowl the right length. They were too short, really. You can see Pant was, Cummins, he bounced Pant out, and also Rohit Sharma, when Stark was bowling, he beat Rohit Sharma's bat a couple of times. So they had seen that, but they were not bowling the right balls. They rightly thought, okay, we'll bounce the batsman out, but they were bowling a little bit too short. So what they need to do is they need to bowl a little bit fuller, not maybe the good length. Even good length will be fun. I think Harshit Rana. I'm looking at him. He's tall like Stark. He's got big shoulders. If he bowls the right length, it will automatically, there is bounce in the pitch. He's a tall guy, powerful guy. He will make those little bit of bounce. He will make the ball bounce a little bit, and then that will nick off to the slip or to the keeper. But I think he is the guy. Also, I was talking about Ashwin, who's taken 18 wickets in 4 games in pink ball test.
Yeah.
So he might come in handy. But they have to bowl the right lengths. That's the key. That's the key. We can't expect Jasprit Bumrah to do everything on his own.
Yeah, absolutely agree, right? So Punk, maybe I'll come to you, right? So if you are Australia, what would be your approach on day two?
So what they did like today, leave the balls. Don't India is giving them and the only one bowler who was attacking was Jasprit, yeah.
Yes.
So they know when he comes, you see those maidens, the runs which are giving is all buys. They're just playing out Jasprit, yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, know that where Siraj is bowling or Harshit is bowling, they're bowling back of length. The ball's flying off. They're scooping the ball, or they're pulling the ball.
Yeah.
So they have nothing to worry about. If only India starts pitching the ball up a bit on length, or a little bit more like a fuller length, because the ball is going to bounce and is going to swing. Then for them, you need to stand out of your pitch, which Khwaja did not do. If you see, Sweeney was, he was outside of the pitch batting. Khwaja was inside, and that's where Jasprit got him. So if India does that, then they need to stand a bit, out of the crease and bat, because they can negotiate the swing, right? And continue what they're doing. They're doing really well, if they continue the same thing what they did in day one, then they will be able to score. They'll pass India's score, maybe put around 300, 320.
Mhm.
I hope India gets them out within a margin of say 30-40 lead. So say 220, 225.
Yeah.
That's good enough. India would come back because day 3 and day 4 would be easy to bat on.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's my feeling. Australia continues what they're doing. If
Yeah.
only now, it depends what Indian bowlers are going to do tomorrow. So
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Jackie, over to you, right? So day 2, first start is going to be crucial, right? And I was just pointing out, you still have 2 set batters, and obviously, with who's in great nick, and someone like Steve Smith, if he hits some form, we know what he can do, the amount of damage. And
Yeah.
then you have the likes of Mitchell Marsh, Stark, Cummins, all handy batters, they can absolutely pile on some runs. So, yeah, what would
And
be,
Head.
your approach, and what should India do different from what they've done
Yeah,
yesterday?
I mean,
Yeah.
no, I mean, I think they are set batters on day 1. They have to start afresh again. So
Yeah.
what India needs to do is come back, consistently bowl that line where they're getting tested, and that should be it. I think the intent is the most important thing. Siraj will come in handy. I
Yeah.
know there's been so many things about Siraj but then that guy can bend his back, and he has done that time and again. When no one has taken a wicket, this guy comes in from nowhere and just starts taking wickets, right?
Yeah.
And that's the differentiator between, because he might not have a skill like Bumrah, but then what shows up is his passion and intent to just take wickets, and that aggression. I like that aggression. I like that aggression when he comes on to the ball. He's given the ball, and might be the 90th over of the day. He will come and he will bend his back and he'll
Give us
bowl. And that's the
100%.
best part. Yes. And that's the best part of Siraj. So I'm hoping Siraj comes in handy, because as Amar and Pankaj mentioned, right, lot of burden just comes on to Bumrah when the wickets don't keep coming in. So hopefully Ashwin comes in play and chips in a couple of wickets, and then around Bumrah everyone starts taking 1 or 2 wickets, and then we'll be in good position. Again, I'm not taking the game too far. I'm just taking it to the time where India will bat again, and we'll see the difference. It's not going to be the same. You won't see the same kind of shots or same kind of approach which they will go with, and you will see a lot of difference when it comes to that. The point is that we have the likes of good leaders in Virat Kohli, in Rohit Sharma, in Ashwin, and everyone. So they will come together as a think tank, and we're talking about close to 3 to 4, 500 tests
And
between
Bumrah.
guys, and Bumrah, right? So these guys will go in. They know what needs to be done, and then you have Gautam Gambhir, who is also very good with his part of doing as a coach, and hopefully that clicks in today. But just this 1 hour of tomorrow, India just needs to come in, put that ball in the right place, bend their backs, and we'll be fine. I think this test is going to day 4, and day 4 is where Australia is going to have some trouble chasing some target which India is going to post. That's what my intent is.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a great point. And obviously, someone like Siraj, we've seen him time and again, right? He's able to pick wickets on Indian conditions as well. And he's like that racehorse, right? You let him bowl in a 20-hour spell, he'll probably just do it for you.
Yeah.
And just for him to come to the party is equally important. But I'm also looking at someone like, Harshit Rana, Amma made a good point, he's tall, he can actually generate the pace. But I think it's consistency is what he's probably lacking. And, that's something he builds. Yeah.
So for the likes of Harshit Rana, right? This is the time he just needs to step up and show that he can deliver.
Yeah.
For Siraj, for the likes of Bumrah, for the likes of Ashwin, we have always seen they have come up. But this is the time you got this opportunity. Grab it with both hands and then just come and bowl your heart out. Like that is exactly what Harshit Rana needs to do. You have got the height, you have got the build, and you are as tall as.
He's got the pace as well.
Yeah, he's got the pace as well. So you are as tall as Stark or Cummins, and you just come and do the right thing. Like just keep bowling there. And the good part is we are at 2.6 run rate. So they are going to approach it as probably exactly the same way they started the innings in Marnus and Nathan Twainey, right? They will approach it same way. It's pressure is on them. They will have to start from day one again. I mean, it's like a ball one for them. Like when you go into bat, so we just come in, put it in the right area, get in the first 30 minutes, get a couple of wickets, and then the game is all sorted.
Yeah, the first hour is very, very crucial because
well, right?
if we don't take the wicket in the first hour, then it's going to be a long day for India. Then Head comes in as well. Smith comes, then the ball is already has lost that shine, and then the Head will be over the head, really.
Now the thing is, what Jagan mentioned, right? So tomorrow morning when they come in first, right, Bumrah will be fresh. right? So that 4-5 overs will be potent for him, right? He knows what he needs to do. I only hope that the supporting bowlers, if they keep the line and the outside off, the length, then you will see wickets coming through.
Yep.
Because they're just trying to negotiate Bumrah.
Yeah.
They also need to negotiate the other bowlers. If they think on that way, then you will get more wickets, right? Bumrah might not get the wickets, but then the other guys will get the wickets.
Right.
I think they will bowl the
I hope
line tomorrow.
And then just a few stats, okay, in terms of what has happened. Yeah. So in Perth, right, India bowled like 31% fuller length. Yeah. Here they bowled like 20%. 10%, right? And at one point of time, when I was somewhere on the 21st, 22nd over, when India was bowling, and the commentators just raised something there, right? They told that only 19 shots was defended for a fuller length. So you're talking about 22, 23 overs, like 130 odd balls, right? Only 19 shots was defended. Just imagine, right? So I know this the Indian team will come up with the stats, and they'll tell them what they need to do. But tomorrow you need to bull fuller, make them play. You'll get some. They will score some runs, right? Definitely they'll you'll have off drive, on drive, because there's a fuller length, but there's a more chance of getting those nicks, right? Because of the ball swing. The ball is 33 overs, and we all know pink ball, the lacquer is there. It lasts a bit longer. You still have say the next 15 overs to swing around, and if you could get quick 3-4 wickets, then they will be in pressure.
Yeah,
absolutely right. Yeah, no, really looking forward. So, Amar, any final thoughts?
What I think is tomorrow, India will bowl, wicket to wicket. They will bowl in a better line and length. Today they bowled, whatever they bowled was because they thought, they saw Cummins and Stark. They saw they were bouncing the Indian batsmen. Because of that, they had that impression that we should bowl short, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
But tomorrow they will be looking at what they did today. They were quite wide and quite short, so they will bring in line that tomorrow will be a different story for India's bowling attack. But what will also be interesting to see is what will be Australia's approach, because they had seen the new ball of today. Tomorrow they will be looking to just see off the first hour, and after that they will be looking to capitalize on that. With even if 1 wicket or 2 wickets falls after that, then you have Smith, you have Head, and they will be scoring that. So it will be like close to 250, 300 even. But yeah, it will be an interesting.
So your target,
also,
you're saying 300 for the score Australia will be scoring.
Yeah.
120 lead.
If they go past 1 hour without a wicket,
that makes sense.
Easily. And but also what I think is the Indian batsmen would have learned from their mistake in the first innings, and they have seen now they've seen how the Australian batsmen have batted, and just see off the ball. Don't of course no one plays rash shots here, but they would have learned. That's what we saw in the first match as well. They learned and came back in the second innings, and they played much better.
Yeah, not necessarily they would see Australian batsmen. My personal opinion is I think they will just come back and look what they have done, because there's enough of experience down there. So they'll just come back, they'll look, okay, this is what has happened, this is what it was, and it's a totally different ball game as for when it comes to the second innings, and we'll see much better batting. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
And one final thing is, I mean, the game is nowhere out of hand at this point of time. It is very much we are within the game. We just had one little bad session. I think we just have to come back, sleep over it, come back strong tomorrow. And as eternal optimists, we will always obviously be there as Indian supporters. And you will see far more Indian supporters.
Yes.
The good part.
One good session of 4 wickets.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 wickets, you're done. If first hour they get 4 wickets and we're there,
exactly. So the crowd is the number of Australians turned up to this game is mind-boggling. I was like, what is this? Like 50-50 crowd. It's always going to be but then everyone turned up. So they have their massive support, and we will have our massive support going into Saturday, Friday. It's going to be Friday, right? It's already
It's
no, it's
No,
going to
it's
be
going to
Saturday.
Saturday. So
It's going
you'll
to be
see more
Saturday.
Indians turning up now.
Exactly,
Saturday,
exactly.
Sunday.
So it's a cracker. I mean, I'll probably sleep early and then wake up at 11 and start watching the game. But yeah, it's going to be a cracker.
I'm trying to.
I think,
I'll
the
try to
crowd's
put a
gonna
5
rock
o'clock
it.
or something.
Given it's a day and night game as
Just
well,
to
so
then it's just to add to the WTC thing which is going on, right? So currently New Zealand, right, and England are playing the second test, right? So England scored 280 and New Zealand got all out for 125, and England is batting like second innings for them, that is third innings technically, so they're 69 for 1, so there's like 225, I think, so they're out. New Zealand are going to chase this, so I think so New Zealand is going to go out of the WST cycle. So it's going to be between the three countries, South Africa, Australia, and India. England is
absolutely, that's a good point
basically
you
there's
made,
no
right?
way.
So really quickly, now that you brought up the point, I wanted to bring this up as well, right? While I was watching the Bologowska Trophy, obviously now I'm listening to some of the commentary, right? And I really, really vouch for this guy, Harry Brick. So one of the stats, Harry Brick for England, he scored a quick 100 yesterday, right? But one of the things I was looking at the stats last night when I was watching the Bologowska Trophy. So this guy, he bats in middle order for England. He's scoring in tests at an average of 60. And the biggest stat here, overseas, away from home, he bats at an average of 96, just behind Don Bradman. So he played 10 tests and he consistently scored over close to 1,000 runs.
Wow, that's
Wow.
Tests, and he's scoring at an average of 90 at overseas. It's not even like home conditions.
Yeah, that's a fantastic.
Crazy,
when I was looking at some of the scoring, they were down for 40 something. They were like 4 down, and bit like Nitish Reddy and Pant, he was just striking from ball 1, and he scored like a quick fire 100. Unfortunately, he got run out. If not, that could have been a bigger target. And then the point you made, Pant, 125 all out. So Guy Atkinson for England managed to get a hat trick, and then New Zealand bundled out for 125. So that's a good point you made.
Yes.
Big picture of WTC, I think is kind of opening up a little bit now with New Zealand
slightly, So you're fighting between the three countries, Africa, Australia, and India. So either of these three are going to go. Depends, how if we score 3-2, then we are going in. Because
and
New Zealand doesn't have a chance.
taking away the points is not helping either.
Well, that they've taken points away from us as well, right, in the last cycle as well. So, well, it's a fair call.
Yeah,
they've taken points away from.
Nothing to do.
Only thing I want to say there is everyone's doing their job, the best of their ability.
Yeah, so I think so. There are some rules, and it is.
Punctured, we know that.
Yeah, so right. So just in case, but even Indian points were deducted in the last WTC cycle, just to let everybody know, right? So there's nothing like something unfair is going on, which
absolutely. That was never the intention.
Same thing with the Bumrah thing. He's chucking the ball, and a lot of So a lot of people Bumrah chucking the ball, all the things. Whenever an Asian bowler goes down in Australia, you will see those guys. They can't face him. They started with Muthia Muralidharan. There's everybody knows the story.
There's certain things you can't control.
Yeah, I mean,
so they have this, and I've explained what Bumrah's action is. So,
One thing now that we have brought up everything, right? So this one thing which I absolutely hated and dreaded to see was fan behaviors during the practice. I mean, it was something which is very unacceptable. I don't know how they reach out. I mean, there are 5,000 people reaching out to a stadium just to watch India bat, right, or practice. I mean, it's all fine. We understand fans go there, as we are fans as well. We go there, but then putting out derogatory statements, making derogatory comments. I mean, just hooting when Kohli is batting or anyone is batting for that fact. I don't know when people are going to grow up about this. But then, I mean, one of the guys was calling Rohit Sharma constantly, "Vada pav, vada pav." I was like, dude, fuck's sake. Sorry, excuse my friend. But I was like, in my head, I was thinking, like, what is happening? Why would you do that? This guy is batting there. He's constantly yelling, "Vada pav, vada pav, vada pav." I'm like, it doesn't even make sense. Like what people do out there, it was very bad behavior out there.
Unfortunate, but That's why like
those guys are those guys are just there, like queers, right? They're not like as fans. They're not there to support any place. We wouldn't even do that for even
Exactly, not
opponents as well,
for
right?
not even for
Opponents as well. Absolutely,
right? Yeah,
right. So
absolutely.
if you're Indian fans, you need to be with them down and right. You can criticize them in the way they batted, right? We'll not go on personal remarks.
The personal remarks were very.
We're criticizing how India bowled and that's it's just the bowling, right? We're not criticizing the person, right?
Yeah.
We still know for Siraj and everybody, we know he is giving his 100%, right? And that's the reason why he's in the team. But as the line and length we're talking about, right? So as fans, you can talk about how they're playing and other things, but personal remarks are really they should avoid completely.
No, these
right?
these kind of behaviors are nothing to do with sport. They are far away from sportsman's man spirit. So that person is not a fan. He's not a sports fan. So he's just not a sports fan, really.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, right? And that's the world we live in right now. Everyone likes to be like over the top, they think sharing their opinion is different in a public platform versus making such comments when someone's trying to focus and get their day-to-day done. But all this is going to lead to is tomorrow the team might say we don't need any fans here and we want to focus on practice. So and that's you're not just spoiling that opportunity for everybody else.
That's exactly what
has happened. Yeah,
that's exactly what they went to indoors practice. They never went out.
No, actually no. They're practicing. But no fans, nobody's allowed. Nobody's allowed, right?
Yeah.
So
just unwanted distraction.
One rotten apple. You have people who want to watch and just go and have an autograph. When they're not playing in a match, right? So just because of some of these guys, the other real fans are missing opportunity to see them practice or even get some autographs for their kids. Take some pictures.
I guess,
and that's the time you can actually, the players also a bit relaxed when they're practicing, right? So they're able to reach out to your fans as well. Ridiculous, man. This shouldn't have happened.
I mean, it's what it is. That's the
that's the world we live in.
Probably, these guys deal with, but looking at the positives, right? A lot to look forward to for day 2.
Yep.
Jackie made a point.
Even the South Africa and Sri Lanka, that's turning out to be really good.
Yeah, that game is going to day 5.
That's going, sure. Yeah. It's going to go. So it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of matches coming around. So
but the good. There's one important game coming. India under 19 is playing India Bangladesh. So Bangladesh under 19 for the Asia Cup final, which is going to be good. That guy, 13-year-old, was in Vaibhav Suryavanshi, right?
Vaibhav,
He scored 32 balls, 66 in. He scored one of the big innings in the game versus UAE, which I was not very impressed with because it's against UAE, right? But then he scored a good innings versus Sri Lanka, which was our semi-final game, and that showed up. So we'll see how. And the captain himself, if you guys haven't seen, there are few clips in video in YouTube. The captain himself, Aman, I think I forget his name.
Yes.
Oman, he plays really well. So it's going to be a good contest. So we are playing Bangladesh in the final of the Asia
I'm just looking at the scorecard which Jagan mentioned. He scored 67 or 36 ball.
50 over game. Talent. I mean, for a 13-year-old kid,
5 6s, and you say 14 years because
I was following that game, so it
crazy,
was
man. That's how we were tracking. Remember, Amar, me and you were tracking Pant when he was batting, when he never played for India. Me and Amar used to track Rishabh Pant, in terms of his scores when he was playing centuries after centuries when he was under 18 or something.
Yeah.
And this guy looks really good, man. 5 6s, 6 4s. Yeah. Interesting against Sri Lanka
and 1.1 crores in the bag, so it's
always... that helps as well. I told you IPL money.
You will see him really.
You will see those reverse
sweeps season,
and reverse scoops, with the IPL money coming in because they don't care. If I don't
get a chance
he's
definitely getting to play IPL for sure. He's definitely
he definitely is going to play now. Yeah. And I think they should give a try because give him 1 or 2 games, and let's see.
I think we are crunch on time, Dinesh. I will not hog on much, but the next podcast, I think we should bring up domestic cricket as well. Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy is happening, and it's in a very good stage. It's gone to the pre-quarterfinals right now, and they have already decided. Mumbai, oh my God! I don't know if there is a team better than Mumbai on paper, but then it's like Shreyas Iyer is the captain. Then you have Surya Kumar Yadav. Then you have Shivam Dubey. You have Prithvi Shaw. They have
crazy,
Purani. I'm like, dude, what is
It's
this?
like you can have an Indian
Yeah,
11,
you can literally have an Indian team, but let's keep that point for a discussion. It's happening. You guys can
Yeah,
track
so
it. It's
let's
very
do
good
that.
to
Like
talk about.
maybe on the next
yeah,
podcast,
we
now
should do that as well. Like,
yeah, we'll do
keep like
Shikhar
10,
Bharat,
15 minutes. Yeah.
Shikhar Bharat played really well. He's brilliant innings. Like he scored 48 ball 98 to help Andhra this reach. So yeah, very good talented players if you watch there on the Syed Mushtaq Ali. So let's keep that point for discussion maybe next time if we have time.
No,
Sure,
absolutely.
man. This
Let's
is
do
good
that.
fun.
But yeah, so wrapping up, like, thank you again for your time today. Really looking forward to day two. So like Jackie mentioned, I'm going to grab some couple of hours nap really quickly and be ready for that 11 o'clock start of the play.
All right, adios, guys. Thank you for having
Have a
All
good
me.
night,
right.
guys.
All right.
Thank you for we'll keep
Good
Cheers.
to
doing
see you guys after
Just
a
speak
long
soon.
time.
it.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
good to see you
See
all
you
again.
guys. See you.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Bye.